and his group, and if they worship the God that we all worship, will agree that they are not members of PDP. They swore to an oath, they swore to an affidavit, and in law, if you lie on oath, you have 15 years jail term. Martin Amewule and his group swore, took that affidavit, ran to a motor show, and Justice Okoro, Donatus Okoro of the Abuja High Court, that they were members of ABC. They swore that affidavit is there.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, another position you held was that you criticize the lawmakers for allegedly distorting facts before the court instead of presenting the real legal status.
Yeah, they have always distorted facts. But let me tell you, there's an angle of this discussion that we're not really bothered.
Tell me.
I quoted a particular section by Justice Onogen.
Yeah.
If you look at section 102 of our constitution, section 102 of our constitution says a House of Assembly, that is in alignment with what Justice Onogen said. Section 102 says that a House of Assembly can sit no matter the number of vacancies. The case of Justice Onogen in the Plateau State House of Assembly was that there were 14 House of Assembly members whose seats were in contention. And Justice Onogen, JSC, said that the House can go ahead no matter the vacancies. But that they cannot do any other business other than the business of the state, but cannot go into impeachment. It's right law. Now, in 2016, when my predecessor, yes, Austin Tam George, was presented to the House of Assembly for screening, there were 6 lawmakers. Rivers State had not increased or decreased in terms of political strategy. Out of the 31 lawmakers, only 6 were authentic members of the House. Former Governor Nelson Wike, now Minister of the FCT, presented Austin Tam George for screening. Now, section 102 of our constitution, I wish I have the opportunity of opening, it says that an assembly, we didn't talk about quorum, an assembly can sit, even when non-members of the assembly are there, their deliberations and decisions cannot be invalidated. We're talking about the etymology of English. Let us even speak the English now. Here we are. We have a house where 27 people were traveling, including these 4, bringing it to 31. Whatever it is, I'm not a messenger of doom.
Okay.
Other members defected. Let me use the word because I would have said I don't want to use the word so that Rivers will not say that I'm a messenger of doom.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, no. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we have a break coming up. It's a short one. I'm sure we would continue after the break. Please stay with us.
Okay.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned to Nigeria Info.
We'll be right back after this.
Back, it still is Hard Facts in 92.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Sam Oracle Chinedu. A conversation for this hour. The Rivers State government said a press conference by some Rivers lawmaker at National Assembly, which held today in order to sympathize with Martin Amaewhule-led House of Assembly, is designed to mislead the public on the true situation in Rivers State. And I have the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Joe Johnson, on the phone with me. You're welcome once again, sir.
Yeah, Sam.
All right.
You say you're an oracle. I don't know which oracle. Are you the one at the local oracle?
No. It's an intellectual oracle. Okay.
Okay.
So you were making a point before the break. And of course, we had a commercial too. I'm hoping you've not lost your train of thought.
No, well, my press release was quite explicit.
Yeah.
It explained it to the end of it. I say clearly that Martin Amaewhule and his cohorts do not have a lifeline. Rivers people should not be swayed by the outdated propaganda. The law is right. The Supreme Court has a level where it operates. The Federal High Courts and Court of Appeals and all the other state high courts, they are all courts of competent jurisdiction. So let nobody come and tell you that Supreme Court did this. There was no mention as to the status of Martin Amaewhule in the Omotosho judgment. I can contest it with everything that I hear. Martin Amaewhule went to court on the 29th of November 2023 as Speaker, not in doubt. On the 11th of December, Martin Amaewhule and his group defected. But can they really say that they are honorable members? Shortly after we came back from Mr. President, they capitulated and said they were no longer members of APC. They started hobnobbing with PDP. They were attending functions of PDP. And you can imagine how you have a multiple personality disorder in a people who ordinarily should be lawmakers and representing us at different levels. If I were to be in that house, I would ordinarily have tested the waters with my one leg. But 27 people were hoodwinked because they must pay loyalty to their own goddess. I don't want to talk about God now because I respect God. I don't know goddess. Goddess must be an appendage of somebody who is perhaps a surrogate of a god. That's the dilemma they are in now. That's the point that I've raised in that press release. And I can stand by it. It is my handiwork, and I can take full responsibility of anything that anybody wants to challenge me on. So, on this trend, I want to think that it is self-explanatory, it's very explicit, and whatever it is, leaders will have a choice to make. But let me just say that Governor Kubara has no intention. I saw the sagacity in what they wrote in their releases. Governor Kubara is not in that league. He does not have it in his DNA. He's born and well-bred. He's somebody that has a wonderful upbringing. And Rivers people are saying that the organic law of express. Governor Kubara has enough latitude to say that really he loves Rivers people, and his mentor of First Rivers is incontrovertible.
All right, Mr. Johnson. Shortly, we'll be taking responses and reactions of callers. They will get to ask you questions. But the budget was one of the major contentions. What steps are being taken?
Which of the budgets?
The 2024 budget.
Budget of 2024 is by evolution of time. It's no longer relevant.
Yes, indeed. But that's.
Let me make the point. Two parties were before the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Party A and Party B. We said we are withdrawing because it had lost relevance. You can't continue to flog a dead horse. Budget 2024 had been overtaken by evolution of time. the two parties agreed that it be withdrawn, because in law there are principles, there are precedents in law that you don't just add A to B. You can't say I want to eat okra, then she give you a visit that day. Why didn't they put Ogazi? Now the law clearly states that by exclusion of law, 2024 was gone. We have already started implementing 2025. So why are we belaboring 2024 budget? There's no basis. And the two parties, on their own part and on our own part, and before the Supreme Court decided to focus for withdrawing, in order not to even waste time, even though you are wasting our time, you will give us a mitigating fee of 2 million. And that matter was rested. And when the matter is dismissed at the Supreme Court, you cannot litigate it again. You can't bring it back for any form of discussion. I'm surprised that when we came back, people in Port Harcourt were jubilating, that Mehula has been installed. Nothing in that Supreme Court, nothing in the motor show that ever clearly stated that Martin was even contesting for position. As of 29th of November 2023, Martin was speaker.
Now, Mr. Johnson, my question was a build-up based on the contention of that budget. I wasn't speaking to the outcome, right? The 2024 budget was in contention at some point in court, even though it was eventually withdrawn. Now, the question is, what steps are being taken to ensure that future budget presentations and, legislative sessions connected to that are devoid of these kinds of controversies? Because there will be many more budgets passed by this government.
When we presented the 2024 budget, we got a judgment of the court from Justice M.W. Danagugu. I can remember if my memory serves me right. We got a judgment from Justice Danagugu that recognized ADC. Upon that judgment was when the governor, His Excellency Sir Funala Ifuba, presented that budget to Right Honorable Edison Ehie as Speaker of the University House of Assembly. We didn't just present the budget on nothing. Of course, in law, you can't put something on nothing. You must put it on something for it to stand. We relied on the judgment of the Danagugu and presented it. And Edison Ehie declared their seat vacant. None of them had gone to court to contest it.
Okay. Well, there are more questions, but I think the next should come from the listener. Yes, indeed. I need the listener to ask questions as well. So I have the...
I will not lie to Rivers people. On my first day, I appeared on all the radio stations, including yours. I told Rivers people, I will not do propaganda. I will not lie. Okay. Anything I take it to the bank.
All right, sir. So let's hear from Rivers people. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. If you have questions for the commissioner, you can also send your messages via WhatsApp to 080-903-06416. Please turn off your radio as you call. It is important. Greetings, Sam. Please, I want to find out from the commissioner, this is a message on WhatsApp, which provision of the Constitution, 99 Constitution, has altered is self-executory and does not need to pass through the court. Which court has sacked Amehule and others, and how are they removed from the State Assembly, considering Section 92, Sub 2C, and Section 109, Sub 2 of the 99 Constitution as amended? Besides Section 11.4... Hello? I'm still taking the question. Besides Section 11.4 of the 99 Constitution as altered provides for a situation where a State House of Assembly fails to form a quorum and says the National Assembly shall make law for the state except the removal of the governor. Do you get the question?
Say it again. I lost the...
Oh my, this is long. So I'll try to just read the part that sounds like a question. If an appeal at the Supreme Court was withdrawn... Yes.
Just paraphrase it.
If an appeal at the Supreme Court was withdrawn by the complainant, does that not mean that the complainant agreed with the judgment of the court?
Far from it. No, it's not correct. Far from it. It's far from it. In law, when you take a matter to a court and you decide to withdraw, what the higher court will do is to try to And don't forget that we took that matter, we didn't Nicodemously take that matter to Supreme Court. We took that matter in the presence of the two parties A and B. And they all agreed that truly it was mere academic. That's why they released that mere last week Tuesday. I said it was mere an academic exercise. There was no reason to go on with it. And the two parties agreed. And there were senior advocates, there were highly placed lawyers across board.
Okay. The next comment on WhatsApp says, my name is Odepeli Don Gosaka. The press conference is not in the interest of majority of Rivers people. That's Odepeli's position. Let's see if we can take some calls. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Afternoon.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, my name is Emeka Alezi, calling from Elele Alimini.
Okay.
I want to greet your guest in the studio.
All right. Go ahead.
So I want to ask, former assembly member, they went to National Assembly to do what? It's National Assembly. Is it the judiciary? What is their press conference? Rivers people have rejected them. They should go, and they have gone.
Okay. Do you have a question? Do you have a question for my guest? We're taking questions.
My dear commissioner, I want to ask, what was the judgment of the Supreme Court that day?
Okay. You want to ask what was the judgment of the Supreme Court? Let's take another call. Hello. Good evening.
Judgment of the Supreme Court on what?
Okay, we have Jude on the phone.
Yeah, my question is, press conferences like this and any other one to come, will it have any effect on the decisions or rulings of the Supreme Court? Since this matter of the defection is before the Supreme Court.
Okay, I think it's the justices that will answer this. But his question, Mr. Johnson, was as to whether press conferences like this will have any impact on the Supreme Court ruling.
Well, they are trying to run ahead of the law. They are trying to be smarter than the shadows. Otherwise, why would you be thinking about press conference when a matter is still ongoing? They think that they are faster. You know, they do everything in advance. They try to work in their own wisdom. But what has kept us is the organic love and the love God has for us and the governor of Rivers State. So the press conference may not even have been heard by anybody. They didn't hear so much of it.
Okay. A question on WhatsApp reads that there's a difference between dismissing a case and striking a case out. Which was it?
When you strike a case out, you can release it. In law, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm listening.
A matter is struck out, you can release it. When a matter is dismissed, you can't release it. In our own case, we withdrew. It is on the strength of it that it was dismissed. So that you can't release it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
My name is Bright. I'm calling from Romodamaya.
Go ahead, Bright. What's your question?
There is a question to your commissioner. Which law court have declared matters are not available? The speaker and others declared their seats vacant. And again, matter that was in Supreme Court that Governor Shin and other members of his government sent to Supreme Court. Then the subject the High Court and Appeal Court.
Hello. Oh my, I seem to have lost that call. Okay, you can send your messages to WhatsApp as well. I will be taking them on those platforms. We're running out of time. Facebook, we're live on Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Orambo.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Chima Dike, and I'm calling for Mokuta.
All right, go ahead, Chima.
I agree with the commissioner. Commissioner is making us understand that a matter that wants to be withdrawn by them, and the both party agreed. Now, if you put a matter in the court, if you send an appeal, and the other party did not put a counter, and if you want to withdraw your matter, the other party cannot do anything. So if Martin Kamere didn't put a counter, you didn't say because they did not they agreed. So that is why it was like that. That is number one. Then number two, I want to make you understand that if you come to equity, then why would you not allow the matter to go? Even if you said it's an academic exercise, not to point from one thing to like some people that you were right. Because I think God has proven you wrong. And state has proven you wrong. Why did you not allow the matter to go? So that you can prove Nigerians and River State people that you are right in what you are doing. Then why are you talking about the press conference of persons that you face that are not assembly members?
Okay. Thank you, Chima. Let's allow the commissioner to respond to those questions. Mr. Johnson, I'm sure you got the questions.
Well, I'm surprised at the anger from the voice of the last speaker. It does appear that he's too much in a hurry to cast aspersions. But the fact of the matter is that Supreme Court, which is the apex court, had learned gentlemen on both sides. They listened to the motion of discontinuance. I read the motion for discontinuance and it clearly stated the purpose for it. And the parties in legal experts on two sides. I'm talking because I'm talking to Rivers people. I don't want to use legal terminology so that it doesn't look as if I want to confuse them. I agreed that matter was merely an academic exercise, that we shouldn't go on with it. There was no friction. The matter ended. The lawyers that we have in the States, the lawyers who are lawyers, whether they are rogue or not, went on with the jubilation that Amewule had been restated. Let me say for the umpteenth time that there was nothing that returned Amewule as speaker. The speaker of River State House of Assembly is Victor Oke-Jumbo. The section 102 that I mentioned clearly states that an assembly can go on no matter the vacancy. I mentioned in my press release that Justice Onogen they had ruled that in the case of Plateau State, the number of those present were irrelevant. As long as they can carry out their duties without any attempt to impeaching the governor. I've said again that our former governor, Nelson Wike, presented budget for 6, presented also Austin Tam George for screening. So, what is the issue? A quorum of an assembly is dependent on those who are present.
Okay.
I rest my case.
Well, let's take as many as we can. We have 2 calls waiting. Those might be the final ones. Clinton calls from Bori. Hello, Clinton.
Thank you, Sir Morocco.
Yes, please go ahead.
Greetings to your guests. My questions are this. Does the governor have the power to deny the lawmakers their entitlement? Does the governor have the power to derecognize the House of Assembly members? 2, the defection of the lawmakers, the clause that everyone is talking about, section 109 sub G, is it set executory? Then finally, in the Supreme Court, was the budget the only relief sought in Supreme Court? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I will have to take the last call so that you answer all questions together. Stanley from Elelewa, please go ahead.
Yes, sir, good evening. Let me greet your guests.
Yeah, good evening.
Commissioner, good evening.
Good evening.
Honorable Commissioner, let me ask you this evening. Let's assume without conceding that the member representing me, Right Honorable Martin Chike Amewule, and his colleagues defected. Understand? Now, who declared their seat vacant? Has there been any court? Because I'm aware the court people went to today has to do with defection. Has there been any court that declared their seat vacant? Or was it the governor that declared, you and the governor that declared their seat vacant, you will have the power. Do you have what it takes to declare their seat vacant? I'm aware also that some Senate House of Rep member some weeks ago defected from Labour Party and PDP at the National Assembly. As I speak to you now, they are still National Assembly members. It is the party that has gone to court. Nobody has declared their seat vacant. Nobody, not even the speaker, declared their seat vacant. Even as I speak to you now, one of the senators from Delta State, he's talking about Ned, Senator Ned, he defected from PDP to APC. He's still retaining his seat. Nobody has declared his seat vacant.
Okay.
It is the party, the PDP, that will go to court to ask the court to declare their seat vacant. So in the case of Right Honorable Martin Chika Amewule, who is representing me, who has not defected, let's assume that he defected. Who declared the seat? That's the question. The answer I want from you.
Okay,
who
Stanley.
Their seat vacant?
Thank you very much. The question has been taken. So let's take it in order. Mr. Johnson, the first caller, the caller before this one rather, says, does the governor have the power to deny the entitlements of the lawmakers? That was his first question.
Well, the truth of the matter is that the law is an ass. The governor is the governor of the state and is swore to an affidavit. He swore to an oath, both oath of office and allegiance, that he will keep the sanctity of our constitution. If somebody is no longer a lawmaker, why would you pay a man who is not at work? Martin Amewule and 27 of them have long left their position by section 1091G. The governor never ever removed or declared their seat vacant. Right Honorable Edison here declared their seat vacant. I had said it in my preamble that they never contested that declaration. It is not the court that will declare your seat empty. It is the Speaker of the House that will declare the seat empty. So when we talk, law does not live on emotions. Law, the laws that we have are laws that will guide you into the better that happen to you. So nobody is denying anyone anything, but those who on their own walk out of the assembly, start looking at the laws, and they are also lawmakers. I think that I should sympathize with them.
Now, Mr. Johnson, I think. Sorry for interrupting you. Hello.
Not allowed them. Yes, I'm hearing you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Johnson. The reason why this particularly is controversial is because the identity of the speaker was also contested, and a speaker was also involved in the defection. So, all of the controversies trailing this is also around that fact. Hello.
Hearing.
Oh my. Okay. You didn't hear what I said.
I'm hearing you.
Okay, I think I will not, because I have just 3 minutes. So let's quickly take the questions of the callers. I was just reacting to something you said. Was the budget the only matter at the Supreme Court? That was the second question by the caller as well.
The budget that was at the Supreme Court was a carryover of what Omotosho's judgment brought. And I was saying that the matter went to court on the 29th of November, by which time Martin Amewule and his 27 travelers were still members of PDP. The reliefs that they sought, which of them that have we not addressed? But I'm saying that we withdrew our own case. They had a one-way traffic. Wait and got that judgment from Omotosho in January 2024. It has nothing to do with who is Speaker. Our contention is that as at the 11th of December, Martin Amewule had defected and therefore lost his own seat. That's the contention.
Okay. So by extension, I think you already answered the last question. Has their seat been declared vacant by any court? And of course, you said it was declared by the Speaker.
Just Right Honorable Edison had declared their seat vacant, and they have not contested it.
Okay. Well, Mr. Johnson, unfortunately, we are out of time. I'm certain we'll have other opportunities to engage. Hopefully, we can have you in the studio here with us. But thank you for joining us. We appreciate you for giving us your time. Have yourself a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you. I salute my listener.
Okay. All right. That was the Information Commissioner joining me to try to iron out what seems to be a rumple. And I'm certain this is not the beginning, neither is it the end. So stay with us for as many updates as there are to this drama series. This is where we wrap up this conversation. Coming up at 5 is the news updates, and after that, we will be spending time with the PDP. Are they still a viable opposition? Please stay with us.